So we got Triple C, Henry Cejudo, versus Song Yadong, and I really like Song Yadong. I think he's someone who has a lot of potential in the UFC, but coming out of the Team Alpha Male camp, it's really not a great camp. They seem to lack the fundamental striking in terms of feinting effectively. A lot of the fighters from Team Alpha Male, like, I mean, if you watch Uriah Faber, you watch Cody Garbrandt, it's like when they go, they go. And you know that they're going. Fighters out of Team Alpha Male, they have a really good sprawl, but they're not very good at defending chained takedown attempts. So, like, watching Song Yadong against Corey Sandhagen, so frustrating. Just got completely out wrestled. And it was a hard watch. I mean, he's been out wrestled quite a few times in his fights, and it's led to him losing. And I think that's really interesting because if you look at Henry Cejudo, he's someone who developed this karate style blitz 1-2 of sort of the Conor McGregor-esque slipping on the outside of the straight punch coming at you and then coming back with a straight right. But he's moved away from the wrestling, and I think it's so frustrating because Henry Cejudo is a fantastic wrestler. In the fight against Demetrius Johnson, he was so good at taking his opponent down, but not great at holding them down. So while I think the wrestling is a clear path to victory for Henry Cejudo, is he going to be able to hold down Song Yadong? I mean, Corey Sandhagen did a great job of holding down Song Yadong. I think on the feet, Song Yadong pretty clearly has an advantage in speed, in power, in technique. Very good at punching in combination and just devastating one-punch knockout power. Whereas Henry Cejudo is good, but he's not world-class at striking. He's just not. And I think this is a really hard fight to break down because I think if Henry Cejudo comes in, he pressures Yadong, he throws a straight right, sort of jabs him up, pressures him. When Yadong comes back with a big explosive shot, ducks under, takes him down, starts to wear on the gas tank of Song Yadong, he could win a decision. I'm just worried about the age of Henry Cejudo and also the motivation. I mean, being a double champ, you reach the pinnacle. He's reached the pinnacle of the UFC. He's reached the pinnacle of his career. How much motivation does he really have to getting back to the belt? I mean, it would be a great redemption story, but I think mentally, he's not going to be in the best position. I think what gives Henry Cejudo the edge in this fight might be the experience. You know, fighting world-class competition and winning 5-round decisions should hopefully give him the edge. I mean, he came in with a brilliant game plan against TJ, a brilliant game plan against Demetrius Johnson, a brilliant game plan against Dominic Cruz, and he looked really good in those fights. But this is prime Henry Cejudo we're talking about. If we're looking at 38-year-old Henry Cejudo, he put up a decent fight against Merab, hurt him in the first round, but ultimately got out-wrestled, and then had a tough loss to Aljamain Sterling. So he's riding a bit of a low. So hopefully this is like motivated Cejudo to come back with a vengeance. But I think when you're 38 and you're fighting in the bantamweight division, it's tough. I mean, Yadong has all the attribute advantages over Henry Cejudo. He has the speed, he has the power, he has the chin as well. Great chin. I think Cejudo also has a great chin. I think this fight goes one of two ways. I think Henry Cejudo comes in with a brilliant game plan, takes down Song Yadong at will, controls him, and wins a relatively boring decision. Or we see Song Yadong with improved takedown defense, or at least improved scrambling and ability to get up. And I think maybe he catches Henry Cejudo coming in for a takedown with a big uppercut. He's got devastating one-shot knockout power. So I think it's a really, really dangerous fight for Henry Cejudo. But to be honest, my heart's saying Yadong, but my head's saying Henry Cejudo. So I think I'm going to go with the dog here. I think the value is in Henry Cejudo. I think he can come in with a good game plan. Hopefully avoid the speed and the power of Song Yadong and wrestle his way to a victory. If Henry Cejudo comes out and strikes with Song Yadong for 5 rounds, he's getting knocked out or he's losing a decision. He's not going to win. He must know he needs to wrestle. Henry Cejudo is an intelligent fighter, and I think the way he prepares for fights, he really takes care of his body physically. So I think Henry Cejudo at 38 is not the same as Dominic Cruz at 38. You know, Dominic Cruz, who his body's been broken down time and time and time again. Henry Cejudo is in good physical shape. He's lost some of his speed, but the power, the strength, still going to be there. So hopefully he comes out and the wrestling is going to be too much for Song Yadong. So I'm going with Henry Cejudo, and I'm going to go by a decision.